have like 4 different kinds.
Oh, yeah?
I think.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello there.
Well, very, very topical.
Oh, really?
Yes, as you can see.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt for the audio listeners.
I'm not wearing a sporty shirt, but I am wearing a sporty hat.
There you go. Is that related to anything you're talking about today?
No. It is just new, and I like it.
Yeah, it
So,
does look pretty nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Unironically, we were in Minneapolis the weekend for the State Fair,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw the coolest hat there,
Okay.
and it was a gopher hat.
Can't be that cool.
No, dude, it was actually like so drippy.
Yeah? Why did you get it then?
Because I'm not a gopher. But yes.
Was there a women's version of the hat, perhaps? Maybe Courtney could have had it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was unisex.
Okay, that's fair.
Yes. I think most hats are unisex.
Well, yes, but there are certain styles of hats that females prefer to wear.
That is true. I think this hat is technically girls prefer to wear more, females.
Right.
Yes. But yeah.
And so anyways.
How was your weekend?
It was good. It was a long weekend. It was week 1 of college football. So I spent all Friday and Saturday watching football, which made Sunday and Monday really long.
Oh yeah.
Like it was one of those weird times where like Monday I'm laying in bed all Monday and I'm like, I'm ready to go to work.
Yeah,
like I can't do this anymore.
like my body's like yearning to do something.
Right.
And I have nothing to do.
And like I'm not like a huge TV show guy, so like there I go again saying so like God, I remembered though.
Yeah. Hey, maybe that's something we work on in the future.
Yeah. So I either sit in my bed and sleep, or I play video games, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't, like binge a show.
Oh yeah. So you didn't take any of the recommendations of the anime I said last episode?
I actually did think about it a little bit on like Sunday, because Sunday was much the same. I was doing nothing all Sunday until like Sunday night.
Mm.
And I was thinking, yeah, I could film. I ended up just playing Assassin's Creed.
Oh, there you go.
Like, all day. But
maybe I'll have to do a topic on Assassin's Creed one day, or just like Ubisoft.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They got plenty of things to talk about.
That's a great topic, actually, because they have like the Ubisoft formula. Yeah, that may be a topic in the future.
Well, there you go. And then maybe even I can. At least I know some Ubisoft games.
Yeah, there you go, like Assassin's Creed and stuff. So, dude, hi, welcome to Balls and Blasters.
Welcome to episode 7. Woo!
Oh yeah, we're almost 2 months.
We're getting there.
Well, I guess technically this is 2 months if you count our like 2-week break, or like the week we missed.
The week we missed. Yeah, it's almost 2 months.
Yeah,
almost. Close enough.
But yeah, Austin, what do we do here in Balls and Blasters?
Balls and Blasters, we take turns teaching each other about our respective topics that we're quote-unquote experts in.
Yeah, experts.
Experts. Ooh. I am the balls side of Balls and Blasters. I talk about sports. I try to teach Caleb things he may not already know about sports, and Caleb talks about the Blasters, which is...
It's a bunch of nerd stuff, anything from, TV shows, movies, video games, sprinkling maybe a comic book here or there, or book in general. I think there's going to be a little bit of that today, a tiny bit of book. But basically anything that you would consider nerdy, like the stereotypical nerd too, not like band geek nerd, like actual nerdy.
Right.
So
nothing wrong with the band geeks out there.
No. But more like your video games and your Marvel movies and stuff like that.
For sure. So this is episode 7. One day, maybe eventually, we will keep to our truth of posting on like a Monday or a Tuesday.
So we had a lot. I had a lot going on yesterday, and it was Labor Day. So This week is a little weird.
We didn't text each other on Monday. I think it was just like a silent agreement.
Yeah,
like, we'll push it.
Yeah, it's Labor Day. Day of rest.
Day of rest, and that's exactly what I did.
Hey, get ready for this, by the way.
Yeah. What flavor is it?
It is strawberries and cream, 0 sugar. Yeah.
Not sponsored.
No, not sponsored at all. But yeah, the past week they had a sale and they didn't have any 0 sugar, so I had to drink regular, and it felt like weird to me.
Yeah, is that good?
Yeah, I think so, because like this is like, 0 calories. So I'm getting the way I'm getting my calories is from actual food now.
Well, there you go. Could be worse.
I think I'm like literally I don't have much weight to lose, honestly, but like I think I'm like literally losing weight.
Yeah, I guess maybe your new job will counteract that.
Yeah. We'll see. That was the thing I was struggling with yesterday, or not struggling with, had filled my time with yesterday. But so we start the show with a little preamble, and then when we talk about our topics, we do a little rock, paper, scissors.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes the intros are long, like they are now.
Oh, I love cold intros. I think that it's just better. It gets more of a feel into it.
It gets the voice warmed up. Get into the feel of.
Then you're not instantly bombarded with a bunch of stuff.
Sports.
Yeah, geez, I haven't even sat down.
All right. So you've got your topic ready. I've got my topic ready.
And I will say, the feedback on last episode's format, through the roof.
Right. I heard nothing but good things because I didn't pay attention to the bad thing. No, I'm kidding. A lot of good things.
We don't have a single. I've checked on our YouTube, and this is probably gonna jinx it. Not a single dislike on any video so far.
Let's go. So one of you out there is going to dislike it on purpose.
This is going to be our most disliked video.
I'm looking at you. I know who you are. And I know who you are.
And for the audio listeners, I can hear who you are. Yeah.
All right.
Hey, one more thing before we start. We're on Apple now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Correct. Which just happened last episode.
Yes,
right?
yes. I was surprised that it went through finally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, our podcast is now on 3 platforms instead of 2.
YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Mm-hmm. Winner, chicken dinner.
Yep. I don't know what other platforms people use.
I guess those are the big ones, right?
I'll start looking at some others too, just to cast a wider net. But for now, we're on the big 3. So
right, I'd say that's a win.
Yeah,
I think we're doing just fine.
So shall we get started?
I think we shall. We should really, we have this whiteboard that we used once.
Oh yeah, no, we really. See, but I don't know your topic, and you don't know my topic now, though. So
right. That's the thing. Yeah. Is either we keep it just for like nostalgia purposes, like, hey, remember episode 1, or we just say screw it, erase it, and that's where we keep track of our. I almost said tic-tac-toe, our rock paper scissors record.
That would be a good idea, actually. Hey, wait. Oh no, it's. Oh, I have the date on the first episode right there.
Yeah.
So we're still a week away from 2 months.
Yes, still a week away.
So, okay. So, all right, sweet.
So, anyways, as we always do, rock, paper, scissors to see who goes first.
It's on shoot.
On shoot, best of one.
The score right now is 4-2 Austin.
Correct.
So, like, technically it's a 50-50 chance of winning, but right now, statistics is not looking great.
Okay.
Wow. All right. So, looks like the sports have been dominating. Austin is now 5-2.
5-2. It's okay. I'll wait for you to catch up.
Thanks.
Maybe one day you'll be good at rock, paper, scissors.
I think I've thrown out paper like every time. First.
I don't pay attention even a little bit.
Look, I don't think I was going to say that someone I haven't thrown out paper first.
I have no strategy when it comes to rock, paper, scissors. Like those people that win like RPS tournaments where they have to win like 100 matches in a row. How do you do that?
Yeah, that's
How does that
insane.
happen?
Hey, wait, before we start, you know that if every person in the world had the rock paper scissors match till one person was a winner, everybody would only need to go like 30 times.
Well, I guess because you're always cutting everything in half.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
It's like the NCAA basketball tournament, March Madness. After the playing games, there's 64 teams. And then after the first weekend is done, there's only 16 teams.
Oh, yeah. Because you're...
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, it's like exponential backwards.
Yeah.
All right, Austin, what do you got for us today?
At this point, I'm just the leadoff man.
Pretty much.
Leadoff man is a baseball term.
Is that where he leads off the bases to steal?
You're close.
Okay.
You're close. So a leadoff man or a leadoff batter is, there's two ways to look at it. It's either the guy who starts the game, he's batting first in the lineup, or it's just a guy that leads off the inning.
Mm.
You can take a lead off a base when you're on base. Yeah. And a leadoff man, historically, typically gets on base a lot. That's why he's the first guy up. And he's usually fast. Not always, but usually fast. So he likes to lead off and steal second base for the guys behind him to drive him in.
Well, also, too, it's you can't force an out if you get to second base.
Correct. The only force out would be at first. He can stay at second if he wants.
So cool.
Yes. Why is this relevant? Because I'm talking about baseball.
Yay! What is that? That makes what? 4 episodes? No, 5 if you count Shohei.
Yes, Shohei. In all technicality, is a baseball player, but I didn't talk about his baseball performance, so I'm not counting it.
All right, so we're at 4 episodes.
Yeah, so I talked about the Derby and the All-Star Game, Big Dumper, and then the MLB Hall of Fame. So yeah, this will be episode number 4 of baseball. It's kind of just because my baseball team is doing good, the Red Sox, and so I'm really interested in baseball right now. So I find baseball things to talk about, or like with it being football season, I find football things fun to talk about, which means in the coming months, hockey will pop up.
I can't wait for that because I think I know the most about either football or hockey. I can. Yeah. And then when basketball hits, basketball is the only sport I actually watch.
Fair enough.
So,
well, I'm excited. I suppose we've only rambled forever at this point. I can get into my topic now.
Yeah. Holy. Okay, yeah. Let's get going.
Yeah, let's rock and roll because you and I both got plenty of notes to work through here.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I'm talking about Major League Baseball today.
Ooh.
Specifically, one aspect of Major League Baseball, and that is service time.
What is service time, Austin?
It's a fantastic question, Caleb. Service time, and this is a definition provided by Major League Baseball themselves. I have to figure out what word that is. So, players acquire service time for each day on what's called the 26-man roster or the injured list. So each baseball team in Major League Baseball has 26 roster spots. So, and that's on like the big league club, because in Major League Baseball there's the big leagues, and then there's like several different minor leagues.
Okay, so you essentially only have 26 people on your team.
Correct.
Okay.
And so if you spend one day on the 26-man roster, or if you're hurt and you're on the injured list, you get what's called 1 day of service time. Service time is important because it helps determine when baseball players are eligible for what's called arbitration and free agency. These are terms we will get to later.
Okay. I'll hold my questions for that.
So yes, they determine when players can get to arbitration or free agency, which is essentially when baseball players are able to make their money. When players get drafted, whether it be out of high school or college, depending on where they're drafted, first, second, third, yada, 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 there's like a specific dollar amount assigned to their like draft slot. And they usually sign for a contract right around there first and second rounders make more money than late round picks.
Do they have to sign around that dollar sign, or can it be more like in a third?
You can sign players for above their draft slot or below their draft slot, but say it's kind of it's almost like a puzzle, a strategy you have to put together. If there's a guy you get in like the 4th round that you really, really like, and he's a high schooler and you don't want him to go to college, you might allocate more money to him to get him to come to your system right away. That means taking away dollar bills from somebody else that you want to sign now.
Gotcha.
So service time. Each day on the 26-man roster in the big leagues or on the injured list, you get 1 day of service time. The MLB season consists of 187 days. So there's 162 games, which means there's 25 days of either off days or the All-Star break.
Dang, it's actually they play a lot.
Oh yeah.
Jeez. You're go during the season.
It's literally spring until fall.
That's crazy.
Spring until fall. It's a long season. It's a grind. So, 187 total days during the regular season. Players accrue 1 year of service time if they are on a big league roster on the injured list for 172 of those days out of the 187. Why 172 days? I don't really know. I'm sure that's just a number that was negotiated between the Players Association and Major League Baseball.
You said it was 179 like total days?
187 total days.
187, sorry.
So you need 172 of those days, and you have to accrue those days through one season to get 1 year of service time.
I wonder if that is like for like breaks and stuff. Or like, wait, but if you're injured though, you still accrue.
Correct.
Oh, so I don't know. That's odd then.
It's an arbitrary number for sure. For sure. So 172 days of service time in a season gets you 1 year of service time. This is important because you need 6 years of service time to become a free agent. When you're drafted into a major league organization, you are essentially they own your rights for until you reach those 6 years of service time.
Dang.
And you don't accrue service time if you're, in the minor leagues. So there's a lot of guys that will spend like 10 years with one baseball club before they become a free agent.
That's crazy. So if you get drafted, are you not necessarily going to the major league team?
Not necessarily, because the way baseball is set up, this is Major League Baseball, AAA, AA, and then there's single A, and then there's like high A, low A, and then like complex league.
Oh, they don't get an A.
No. It's because there's so many players on a roster, you need a whole bunch of players in your system to cover. Like, you can't just have 26 people in AAA and hope that's enough to survive a whole regular season at the big league level. So you need like so many players in one system.
So if a player let's say like 2 players get injured in the major league team, would they grab somebody from the AAA team?
Pretty much.
Okay. So it's kind of like you're on the bench for major league.
Pretty much. And you're still playing your own seasons on your own teams. You're still making money. It's not big league money. It's not big league ballparks, but so you need 6 years of service time to become a free agent. In most cases, anyways. The other aspect of this is once you accrue 3 years of service time, you become eligible for arbitration, which, again, I have a whole segment on arbitration after this. But arbitration is essentially where young players start to make their money. It's just a system of, hey, you've performed really well, let's give you a pay raise. Or, in some cases, a pay decrease if you haven't done anything. So yes, at least between 3 years and 6 years of service time, you're an arbitration eligible player, which is essentially just you're negotiating a contract with your team for the upcoming season. There is a term called pre-arbitration. It's essentially the top 22% of players between 2 and 3 years of service time. They get to go through arbitration as well. That's for like, this guy's a star and he deserves to be making more money.
So if you're just like really good, but you haven't quite hit that threshold yet, you're like, you can.
Right.
You deserve it.
Right. In essence, that's what it is. So that's why service time is important. So in most cases, you need 3 years of service time to become arbitration eligible, 6 years to be a free agent in most cases. And the arbitration is important not only for the player, but for the big league club, because big league clubs try not to spend that much money. Players want as much money as they can get. And there are some instances where players and clubs will agree to like 10-year contract extensions at a low annual value to completely buy out those arbitration years, and will go through their first few years of free agency. That's mainly just the player. That's the big league club saying, we trust you're going to be really good for us for the next 10 years. That's the player saying, I'll take the money now so I'm set and secure, instead of playing the arbitration game where I don't know how much money I'm going to make.
Because that's almost more of a gamble then.
For
if you didn't take that big contract.
Right. Yeah. Yes, it is a gamble for sure. And some players will, like the big league club will be like, hey, here's this 10-year deal for like, $18 million a year. Like, that's life-changing money. But if it's like a legit star player and they know they're going to be healthy, you don't know if you're going to be healthy, but they will purposely deny it because they want to become a free agent as soon as possible. Whereas like signing a huge extension like that means you push your free agency even further away. And a lot of these guys have been trying to get there for years and years and years.
So is there times where a team will take a player off of their roster so they don't reach free agency?
What a mighty wonderful question, Caleb. That's actually a very intelligent question to ask in this particular scenario. I'm really proud of you for that one.
I'm feeling smarter every day.
I want you to lock that question in because we will come back to it in the next section.
That's sweet.
Okay? Because that is actually, it's called service time manipulation.
Ooh. Like gerrymandering. I don't know why I thought of that. Just manipulation.
Yes. Again, so we will get to that. Service time is important for players late in their career as well. So we essentially everything I've been talking to up this point is for a guy that's just getting into his big league career. He's trying to play as much baseball for as consistently as he can because he wants to make more money. He wants to become a free agent ASAP, as soon as he can. Service time is also really important for players later on in their careers because in Major League Baseball, they have what's called your 10 and 5 rights. What are 10 and 5 rights?
10 and 5 rights.
Players with 10 years of service time and that have spent the last 5 consecutive years with one team get what's called 10 and 5 rights. 10 years of service, last 5 years with one team. Players who receive 10 and 5 rights have the ability to veto any trade that they are a part of. So it essentially functions as a full no trade clause.
So they almost have a little bit of free agency.
Yes, so
they have the agency to be like, no, I'm not
Correct.
going to that team.
Mm-hmm. And so you'll see this happen in the sports world in general. Players are bouncing around everywhere, but excuse me, players who sign these big long contracts, they try to time them. Like if they're getting ridiculous money, they don't care how long the contract is. Some of them want a 12-year contract because it's just they're secure. They're getting paid. They don't have to worry about it.
And they have guaranteed money. So if they do get traded, they still get that money.
Correct. Bingo. Absolutely. And so it's just like the 10-5 rights is just, it's like essentially a reward for sticking around that long and a reward for being loyal. Because there are guys that, you know, whether they get to the team that they've always wanted to be on or they just really like the environment they're in, they don't want to go anywhere.
It's almost like a union, but specifically for that player. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, I don't think you're wrong in saying that. And Major League Baseball does have a players' union.
Oh.
So
is that what fought for?
Yes.
Okay.
And this is a different topic that which I probably am going to have to go over next year, because the collective bargaining agreement that the Players Association, the Players Union, and MLB offered is done after this season, which means they have to negotiate a new one, and things don't look good.
I have one more question, though.
Yeah.
So if you get dropped down to a AAA team instead of the big leagues, do you still accrue your 10-5 rights?
No, because it all comes down to, like, you need to be on the 26-man roster of the big leagues or on the injured list in the big leagues to accrue your service days.
Oh, so it has to be big league team.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if you're part of the team. It just matters if you're part of the 26-man roster big league.
Correct. Yes. Which is it's a very good question. So yes, 10-5 rights. It's a loyalty thing. It's a congrats for being around this long thing, and a lot of players execute it. Like I didn't find specific examples, but it happens almost every year where a guy's like, I don't want to move. I'm not going to move. In some cases, guys will waive their ability to veto a trade because maybe they do want to go win a World Series because they're currently on a bad team, or they just want to get out. But
I can imagine the biggest reason is probably they may have a house in the city, and they just think, I don't want to move.
So think about it this way. Say it's a stud prospect. He gets drafted as a senior in high school, and he's drafted in like the first or second round. His franchise gives him a couple $1 million. Hey, come play pro ball with us. 18-year-old going to play pro ball. It takes him 3 years to work through the entire minor league system. And you don't always start at the way bottom. Some guys start in the middle. But it takes 3 years to work up and like become a mainstay on the big league roster where he can start accruing service time. Drafted at 18, has not started accruing service time until he's 21. We'll say he is a stud prospect. He is a stud player, and he gets like his 10-year contract extension at 21 years old because he likes his organization, he likes the city. Now, by the time that 10-year contract is up, he's 31 years old, and he's spent the last 10 years with his team, so he's already surpassed the threshold of 5 consecutive years with one team. He's got 10 years of service time. You're 31, you've been in the same city. Pretty decent chance you have a family at that point. Probably don't want to leave.
Yeah. Because I remember when the Luka trade happened, one of the things that I remembered most that I was kind of mad for him about is that he just bought a house there. And I would think that's kind of a crappy thing to have to do.
And it happens frequently, you know. It happens all the time on way less profile players, you know. So that's your 10-5. So you had mentioned, you mentioned a question like, will the franchise executives purposely demote a player so they don't accrue service time. That was essentially your question.
Yes.
Correct. This does happen, and it's a massive source of controversy, and it's called service time manipulation. Why does this happen? Well, I suppose, let me define service time manipulation first. It's a tactic that baseball executives use to prevent players from reaching arbitration or free agency earlier than they otherwise might have. And it's usually in the form of demoting players to the minor leagues for at least 16 days to start the season. That's its most normal format. There's times where they start there in the big league club. Oh no, they didn't perform well. They shoo them down for a little bit, and then they bring them back up.
Because you need a certain amount of days, and that certain amount of days is lower than the time.
So if we go back to those numbers I talked about earlier, there's 187 days in a Major League Baseball season. Mm-hmm. You need 172 days to accrue 1 year of service time. That's a 15-day difference. Mm. So if you get sent down for 16 days, you don't get to accrue a year of service time for that season.
So that makes me think that a solution to that problem would be, hey, you can accrue service time way sooner in the season, or less days to accrue service time in a year, because then to do manipulation, you have to take a really good player out for longer.
And I'm sure the players union would argue for that, but the executives would never agree to it. Which is like it's a tug of war.
It's corporate.
It is. It's corporate greed. That's 1,000% what it is. And
we hate corporate greed on this show.
Baseball executives will never admit to it. They'll be like, there'll be a guy that performs really well in spring training, going into the season, but he won't start the season on the big league roster. He'll start down in the minor leagues. It's like, why is he starting? The position he plays, they need help at, and he performed really well. He's ready. Why is he in the minor leagues? And then 2.5 weeks later, huzzah, he's up in the big leagues. And it's so instead of like taking 6 years to get to free agency, it's almost like it's taking 7 years to get to free agency.
Because your first year, you technically don't accrue
your full year of service time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a scummy thing that baseball front offices do, but it's real and it happens. And there's essentially, if the players union is able to convince executives to fix service time manipulation, they're going to lose somewhere else in their negotiations. Mm-hmm. Again, the whole tug of war aspect of it.
You can't get or take without giving something.
Right. It's the ugly nature of the off season between the players and the executives. Mm-hmm. So that's my spiel on service time and an overview of what service time is and why it's important both early in a player's career and later in their career. Before I move on to the second half of this topic, is there any other questions that you maybe have?
No, I think you explained it pretty well. Quick recap. You need 3 years for arbitration, which is essentially a big pay raise. 6 years for service time, which makes you 6 years service time makes you a free agent. Mm-hmm. So do you automatically become a free agent, or are you eligible for free agency?
It depends. If you go through arbitration and you don't sign a contract extension with your club, yes. Because if you sign a contract, so for example, my team, Boston Red Sox, they called up their number one prospect, who's the number one overall prospect in baseball, halfway through the season to manipulate his service time so they could keep him for longer. Mm-hmm. He came up, where was I going with this? What was your question?
It was, so do you automatically become
become a free agent? So he's starting to accrue service time. He won't get his first year until after next season. He would have to play 3 seasons with the Red Sox, and then he would be arbitration eligible, and he could just do 3 straight years of arbitration, which is just after you win arbitration, which we'll see here coming up. That's your contract for that season, and you have to do it again until you reach 6 years, and then you're a free agent. You can sign anywhere with anybody. You can negotiate a contract extension, which Roman Anthony did. He signed a 10-year contract extension, which nullifies his arbitration years and the first X amount of years of his free agency. So he can still be traded and moved, but he won't become a free agent until that contract is up.
Oh, so even if he's traded, he has to wait for those 10 years to complete.
Right. If he's traded to a different ball club, that contract goes over with him.
That's kind of a good deal, though, because if you get to those 10 years and they try to trade you and you don't want to leave, you have the
10 and 5 rights.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And then, so that my other question would be, it doesn't matter what team you're on, as long as you're on a big league team,
right.
you occur. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So you could get traded to a different team every year, but as long as you're on the big league team, you accrue years of service.
Correct.
Sweet.
Gotcha. So that's the overview of service time. Now I want to talk about arbitration, because that topic in general is confusing to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. It's even confusing to me sometimes.
I'm confused about it. Not going to lie to you.
Well, great. I hope I can clear up some of those questions. So, as we established, arbitration is for players between 3 and 6 years of service time. In the rare case, guys who only have 2 years, they're called Super 2 players. Player is ineligible for arbitration if they are under a contract extension, which we had just discussed. Mm-hmm. What is arbitration? Players and their team negotiate a salary for the upcoming season or seasons. You can negotiate like a 2-year deal. I don't think that happens often, because players often want to get the 1 year, overperform, get a pay raise, continue. Mm-hmm. And contracts, these 1-year contracts are primarily based on comparable players over recent seasons. So like players having a poor season versus a great season according to expectations can greatly affect what they're able to negotiate in arbitration. If you're having a great year, you can get more money. Poor year, less money. Star players typically opt for like a 1-year arbitration because they want to overperform and get that pay increase. And they won't sign contract extensions typically because they want to get to free agency as quick as possible to get an even bigger payday.
Because I can imagine if you're a free agent, you have a lot more negotiating power.
Correct. You essentially start, if you're like a legit star player, you essentially start a bidding war. And your position and your value as a player, it has a certain dollar value, and you can, bump that up with a bidding war. Apologize. So contracts are primarily based around comparable players with comparable seasons in recent years. Most of these ARB cases are built around traditional baseball statistics, like batting average, RBIs, home runs. Why traditional stats? Because that's like what you actually did on the baseball field. They don't use predictive analytics because that's just in theory. Like, I could have done this, or I should have done this. Well, it's like you didn't.
Yeah, you could have got 20 more home runs, but we lost like these games, so
right.
Obviously you didn't.
So it doesn't matter. Some advanced metrics are being used, but again, it's advanced metrics based off of traditional stats. So it is literally what you did. So that's a base overview of like what arbitration is. So a player's salary can be reduced in arbitration. So we had talked earlier about like early round draft picks can sign for multiple millions of dollars in some cases, not always, but some cases. Say you get to the big leagues and you're making this like $1 million. You have like a poor rookie season, but you stay on the big league roster the whole time. You go to arbitration. You can have your salary reduced because they'll be like, for a player with your profile in recent years, they're making almost the major league minimum. And we're paying you way more than that. So we want to reduce your salary. And the player is going to fight to say no. You can only reduce a player's salary through arbitration by a maximum of 20%. So it's not like you're completely slashing all the money they.
So if you're making $1 million, they can only drop you down to 800,000.
Right. Again, I usually don't hear about cases like that, but I would assume it does happen. Not all rookies are great, right? Players can receive massive increases. We'll talk about some records at the very end of this arbitration segment. And there's no limit to how much you can get an increase in salary.
Okay,
sweet. So, players and club have a period of time after the season ends to negotiate a contract, a salary for the next season when you're within this 3 to 6 year window of service time. The deadline to get this salary figured out is typically like mid-January. At that mid-January deadline, the player and the club must exchange their figures. And sometimes they're really close to each other, which means that it's like, okay, well, let's just talk this out for a couple more days. We'll get this done. Sometimes they're far apart. And when that happens, if no agreement is reached because they're so far apart, a hearing is scheduled, generally around mid-February. And it's like, that's like a second deadline where it's like, okay, guys, like, wrap this up because we need you under contract. We need the books filled and filed for this upcoming season. If there's no agreement reached by mid-February, your case is brought before a panel of arbitrators.
Is this why it's called arbitration?
Correct. And arbitration, I think, is it's a legal term, and it happens in like normal court settings. Like, it's not just a baseball thing. So this panel of arbitrators, I think it's usually like 3, hears arguments from the player and his agent and the executives and their representatives. And then the arbitrators will choose either the player's salary that they brought to the table or the club's salary they brought to the table. Nothing in between.
Really?
It's one or the other.
I'm surprised they don't just say, hey, right in the middle, guys.
I think in essence, it's because it's like, hey, you had all off season to negotiate a number in the middle and you couldn't. So now we're going to choose what the player wants, which is always the higher number, and what the club wants, which is the lower number.
Do we know which they typically pick?
I think it's kind of mixed. I would say majority club. Majority of the time.
Okay.
I think the players, it's a weird, again, it's a tug of war. It's a weird balancing act. Players may tend to think higher of themselves than they actually are. Clubs tend to think, well, maybe you're down here instead. Again, the club wants to save money. The player wants to make money. It's essentially what it comes down to.
I feel like if you are a player and you know they're not going to give you enough money that you want and it's nowhere near your number, arbitration's almost good for you because you're still going to get paid some money, but you have a chance to make an insane amount of money.
And if your case is good enough and it's ironclad, then perhaps you'll win, and then they have to pay you what you want. So I agree, it can be good. It can definitely be good for players. So because of the nature of how tense arbitration hearings can be, because it's essentially the big league club saying, you're not as good as you think you are. And the player saying, I'm pretty good at this thing. They can get kind of heated. Most of these cases get done before that January deadline. The ones that don't, obviously, go until February. Players and club can reach multi-year ARB deals to avoid going to arbitration the next season. I had mentioned that before. Typically, that doesn't happen. In rare cases, it does. So let's talk about some quick records, and then I can wrap up here. Juan Soto, who...
That sounds familiar.
I think I've mentioned him in previous episodes. He is an outfielder for the New York Mets, formerly of the New York Yankees, formerly of the San Diego Padres, formerly of the Washington Nationals. He's been traded a couple times because he's really good and people want to pay him. But he has the highest... He currently has the highest one-year salary won through arbitration at $31 million, which is like most star players' like annual average salary.
So, wait, so is that big or no?
No, it's a huge number.
Okay.
It's the reason why it's impressive is because Juan Soto, he's in arbitration. He's making $31 million a year. Well, he just signed a contract with the New York Mets where he's getting paid, I think it's around $50 million a year. I'd have to look up to be exact. So
the arbitration's on top of?
No.
Oh.
No. That was just his salary for that season, which was
still insane amount of money.
A couple of years ago now at this point. And arbitration records have been going up like consistently the last 6 years. Nolan Arenado, who was a third baseman for the Colorado Rockies at the time, had the record at $26 million in 2019. And then Mookie Betts, 2020 outfielder for the Dodgers at the time, $27 million. Shohei Ohtani got $30 million in 2023.
And he spent it all at the casino.
And then Juan Soto broke the record with $31 million. So, yeah. That is my overview of what arbitration is. Did you have any questions? Want me to clarify anything?
No. I mean, arbitration, it does definitely, it's it's weird. I think I get it, but there's still parts that confuse me, but I don't know the questions to ask.
Yeah. So it's way different than like the NFL or the NBA or the NHL, where in those leagues, you just have a rookie contract that you sign. Mm-hmm. And after, whether it's a 3-year rookie contract or a 4-year rookie contract, once that contract is up, you're just a free agent.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And again, this, I think, because Major League Baseball, like the Major League Baseball Players Union is like one of the most famous unions in the world. Mm-hmm. They are one of the best unions in the world if you're a union guy, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it's just a case of them trying to look out for their players because they want them to get as much money as possible. Major League Baseball's like, fine, but it's gonna be a bitch to get there.
I definitely feel that it's beneficial to the players in the lower leagues as well. Because you're almost guaranteed to get some money. Mm-hmm. If you work hard for it.
It's got its own pluses and minuses, but it's certainly far more complex than any other league, mm-hmm. which is why, like, if you're someone just getting into baseball, like arbitration's like this space age weird term, like what in the world is going on here? So I hope I could at least give you the bare bones and outline it a little bit.
No, it's very interesting actually. Because like you said, in any other sport, you just be a free agent after, but this you have a whole like legal battle.
Right. In other sports, you'd be a free agent after 4 years. In baseball, it can be 10 years.
Well, there's a lot more negotiating. Sounds like too.
Right. So you better have your legal chops
if
you're going to be a Major League Baseball player. That's what you have agents for. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, that's my spiel. on service time and arbitration.
Very, very nice, Austin.
That is about as in the weeds as it can get
Yeah.
on Major League Baseball. So I'm very happy I get to rest my voice now. I've been talking for a long time, and I'm very excited to hear what you have to talk about, Caleb.
Well, if you can't tell from my shirt today, audio listeners, I am wearing a Star Wars shirt. What does this mean, Austin? This means that we are talking about Star Wars.
Oh,
Hey.
I was like, this could have gone anywhere. Yeah.
It's funny, you greeted me with a hello there.
Hello there.
Yeah, at the door today. I'm gonna let you in. So we've talked about Star Wars before, but I realized I didn't explain really what Star Wars was at all. I just kind of assumed people knew what Star Wars was, and for the most part, I would assume people can get the gist of Star Wars. But I think, taking the feedback from last episode, I'm definitely gonna talk about more of the history and themes of Star Wars today instead.
I'm very interested for this.
So-
To comment, I think a lot of people definitely know what Star Wars is, but it's a whole different thing to like understand the lore and the history.
It's kind of funny. I don't have some of my notes written down because I ran out of time, but I remember them. I remember what I want to talk about, and I wrote them backwards. Well, like the my parts that I want to talk about,
like from bottom to the top.
No. I wrote what the thing I want to talk about first, and then the thing I want to talk about second, and then I don't have my first topic. So
Okay.
So the first bit of this might be a little jumpy, but it's gonna get a better as we go. So, you know what Star Wars is a little bit.
I have an idea.
Yes. I believe in our third episode we talked about it and you explained a little bit what you knew. But Star Wars is set in a galaxy far, far away, as the title card scrolls down. Created by George Lucas with the first film, Star Wars, just called Star Wars, released in 1977. Old ass movie.
Right.
Yeah. But timeless. Because it follows something that's called the hero's journey.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the hero's journey is, Austin?
Is it mentioned in that like opening credit? No. I've definitely heard the term. Is it like a basic outline of a story?
Pretty much, yeah. It's what almost every adventure story follows.
Yes.
So
okay.
you have the hero, who is Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
You have the mentor, who is Obi-Wan Kenobi. You have, I can't remember what the name it is, but it's essentially the damsel, though it flips it on its head in Star Wars with Princess Leia. But she's not really a damsel.
Is it like a foil? Is that the right term? I'm just trying to think of like...
Maybe, but essentially it's a really old movie, so I won't spoil this for you. Princess Leia is a badass. Mm-hmm. So she's not a damsel needing to be saved.
I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
Yes, I know what you're saying.
She is the mold in the story of that, but she's not actually the damsel, even though they are going to go rescue her. Then you have the scoundrel, which is Han Solo, who also plays a different role as a side character, along with... and you could consider Chewbacca more of the magical beast, but I wouldn't, because he's a character.
Right.
I would consider more R2-D2 that.
Okay.
And there's comic reliefs as well, which in Star Wars, I think Chewbacca is a little, but also the droids, C-3PO in particular, is the main comic relief. But Star Wars follows the hero's journey essentially to a T. What the hero's journey is you take a young boy, typically, and he's a fish out of water. He has spent his whole life in one area, typically a village, and here it's a planet called Tatooine, that he's only known this his entire life. He's heard of stories and things outside of his village or his area or his planet, but he's never experienced them, but he's always had a desire to want to go out and explore. And typically, the young boy, the hero, meets a mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, that gives him an item, typically a sword, in this case a lightsaber, that will help him on his journey of his adventure. Then there's a call to action, where the hero has his moment of, I need to go out and do something, vanquish some evil, go see the world. Darth Vader in this story would be considered the Shadow, which is the evil force looming over the hero. You could also consider Grand Moff Tarkin, who is the leader of the Death Star, as a shadow as well. But all these elements just combine into a by the numbers, by the book, hero's journey. And that's all Star Wars really is a hero's journey. But it does it in such a fantastical way and such a just fish out of water, new experience. At the time, nobody ever thought something like Star Wars was possible.
Fair.
So it's interesting to see that Star Wars, at its core, is really basic.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much about it that it's kind of weird when you just break it all down. It's a basic hero's journey story.
Right. And I think the space idea for shows and movies is like, it's not novel, it's not new, but again, it seems like the way Star Wars did it is just, it's almost like it perfected it in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. And yeah, and it does take some inspirations from stories, which we'll get into in a little bit, that are also heroes' journeys. But I think Star Wars is the perfect example of a modern, even though it's almost 50 years old now, a modern hero's journey. So, what are these influences, you may ask, Austin?
What are those influences, Caleb?
Well, I want to start off with the first sci-fi story ever created. Austin, do you know what the first sci-fi story ever created was?
Gosh, I don't even know if I can hazard a guess. Have I heard of it?
You've read it.
I've read it. Oh, goodness.
I know you've read it, actually.
Okay. This is creepy.
In high school.
I'm trying to think like of all the.
It's not space sci-fi, but it's the first sci-fi.
Sci-fi. I guess
science fiction.
Yeah, I get that. I read it in high school, science fiction. I'm trying to think, because I know we had one English class together, and I just don't really even remember what books we read.
Actually, wait, you might not have read this, but you definitely know it. You would 100% know it. I think you have read it, though.
What, how about another hint?
It was written by a 16-year-old girl.
That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea.
Mary Shelley?
And the name is familiar, but not because I know anything about her.
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Oh. That would... Science... Oh, yeah.
It is considered the first science fiction book or story ever created.
It's so weird. Like, yeah, it definitely would be science fiction, but I never really think that type of story as sci-fi.
Yeah. It involves like something that can't be done in real life.
You know what I remember about? Because I think I read that senior year of high school.
Yes. I think we were in the same class together.
You know what I remember about that? Her version specifically? Nothing, because I hated reading it. I just...
Really?
Like, because it's so old-timey. I'm sure you're going to say how old it is.
No.
I know it's from a long time ago.
Late 1800s. So.
Just the way they wrote back then, I can't get down with it.
See, I love it.
It's like Shakespeare's way older. Like, I hated reading Shakespeare.
Oh yeah.
I just my brain is working too hard to comprehend what's going on right now.
Funny thing about Shakespeare, that's also an influence.
Not surprising, I guess.
We'll get to that in a little bit, but yeah, I loved Frankenstein. I see. I had the book in front of me, but I had an audio book, which is the way to do it, because that book is hard to read.
It's
but
so hard.
If you have an audio book, it's a great book.
I sound like major sports jock. Books, dumb, stupid. Like I read all the Percy Jackson books
There you go.
I loved those books. Like it's not. I'm
Sick.
not against.
You're sick as
reading-
hell.
I'm not against reading these types of fictional books. I just could not. I didn't get an A in that class. Let's put it that way. Continue on, sir.
All right. This one I don't know too much about, but the 1930s Flash Gordon series.
I've heard the name
It's
Flash
just
Gordon.
It's just like a spacey, like futuristic TV show.
Yeah, I feel like that's something our parents would know more about.
This one's really cool, and I don't know too much about it either, but I heard that if you see this, it's like a almost 1-to-1 of Star Wars without the sci-fi elements. The Hidden Fortress by Akira Kurosawa is Star Wars is heavily influenced by this. I think it even has like a Chewbacca in it.
Is it heavily influenced because George Lucas read that story and is like?
I think it's a Japanese film, like a
so
samurai.
So he
film.
watched the film and he's like, I need to like do something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then a huge one where this is where the hero's journey is most inspired by and considered the first major piece of media to use the hero's journey. Lord of the Rings.
Really? How old is Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings is like early 1900s.
Is this like the book? Or
the book, yes.
Okay.
The book. The movies had not come out yet.
Yes. I was like,
It would take about another 20 something years for the movies to come out. But yeah, J.R.R. Tolkien, he like fought in World War One.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so he's old.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can thank every piece of spacefaring sci-fi nonsense for this one book in particular. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It is Dune by Frank Herbert.
Oh, okay. Which has become fairly popular
Yes,
recently.
the movies are great, and there are so many influences from Dune. Desert planet, chosen one that falls, which is also Shakespeare. I'll get into that after this. Spice being important. They sell spice in Star Wars. Just like supernatural powers, just stuff like that. And then I did want to include Macbeth in here. I know it's not a direct inspiration, but in the story of Dune, spoilers if you haven't seen it, minor spoilers, there's a character that falls to the dark side, just like in Star Wars, characters fall to the dark side. And Macbeth is pretty much not a 1-to-1 fall to the dark side, but the reasons are typically the same of a hero seeing visions of the future and trying to prevent that, but in turn it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that turns the prophecy to happen.
It's very fascinating because it's exactly like how the story of Assassin's Creed Valhalla goes. And so it's okay. I get what you're saying now.
Yes. So those are the major influences. Obviously, there's it probably got influenced by like a million different things, but those are the main influences.
Yes, I did have a question.
Yes,
because it seems like a lot of these big movies, really popular movies that get made, come after a book was written. There's no like OG Star Wars book that the movies are based off of, correct? Okay.
George Lucas, he took all his inspiration, he made the script and the story, and went, I'm going to make that. One of the coolest things about Star Wars, I'll tell before we get into this, is besides Harrison Ford, and Alec Guinness, every other major character in Star Wars was picked picked as they aren't a well-known actor, like Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher. They were not well-known actors at the time, because he wanted, when you see Luke Skywalker, or you see Mark Hamill, you think of Luke Skywalker. When you see Carrie Fisher, you think of Princess Leia. So he wanted that kind of.
And we've talked about this effect before in previous episodes.
Yes. So he kind of pioneered that almost.
That's neat.
Yes.
I think maybe part of the reason Star Wars was as popular out the gate as it was is because there's no like book to compare it to.
Well, there was nothing like it before.
Well, right, exactly. It's like you only have like, what you see is just here it is. You don't have to. You don't fall into the trap of trying to compare and contrast. You know.
Yeah. Well, people like never seen something like Star Wars before. Never a giant. It's called a space opera. Is the genre, and people never seen just space like that. So it was very like a culture shock, you'd say. So now I'm getting the history of Star Wars. So yes, the first Star Wars, it's not called A New Hope yet, was released in 1977, created by George Lucas, the godfather of all Star Wars. And this grossed, 1977, $775 million worldwide.
Damn.
That's insane.
That's a big number.
Oh, yeah. Like,
That's a huge number.
$1 billion now. I'll give an example. Superman, that came out this year, grossed about $700 million.
I would imagine the $700 million in 1977 is
Oh yeah.
in today's money would just be like.
Yeah, I don't have the exact conversion, but it's reaching over $1 billion for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Star Wars is a space opera. That is its genre. You could define it also as a fantasy, a space fantasy. It's not pure science. It does have fantastical elements like the Force, forces beyond influencing. So it wouldn't be considered a full-on science fiction.
Makes sense.
As there is, you would essentially say magic.
Yeah. I get you.
So, the funny thing is, Star Wars did so well. They're like, hey, let's do a Christmas special. You know, it's great. Star Wars is doing great. Let's do a Christmas special. So in 1978, 1 year later, they released the holiday special where the heroes help Chewbacca reach his family. I don't think it's called Kashyyyk yet, but the Wookiee homeworld is called Kashyyyk. But they go help him reach his family to celebrate Life Day, which is supposed to be Christmas. This is considered the worst piece of Star Wars media ever created.
Why is that?
It was just horrible.
Yeah.
Yes. Nobody knows why the actors agreed to do it. Harrison Ford is quoted on saying, I don't even remember filming it.
In Harrison Ford's fairness, he's done a lot of movies.
Oh, yeah, a ton. Well, he's also... So they created Lucasfilms for Star Wars and Indiana Jones. And he is Indiana Jones as well.
Right.
So he's a major star in 2 franchises that are owned by Lucasfilms. So, after that nobody really talks about that anymore. We have what is the contender for the big 3 Star Wars movies. Or you'd say the big 2 Star Wars movies, which are the 2 Star Wars movies that are considered... These are these flip-flop. People have different opinions on what their favorite Star Wars movies is. This one is critically rated the highest in 1980. Star Wars Empire Strikes Back releases in theaters. This was a big deal. Not only was the movie critically and audience acclaimed, sequels weren't really a thing at this time in movies. So to not only have this gigantic franchise have a sequel, but sequels were never or rarely made is insane. It actually did not gross as much as the original Star Wars, but critically it is beloved.
Interesting. Which you don't really see a lot from sequels.
Yes. And a little fun fact that I wanted to talk about this film. So, what does Darth Vader say to Luke?
Like,
What's the big line?
is this the... Oh, gosh, I don't want to Mandela effect it. Does he just say, Luke, I am your father? Is that what it is? Or is it the other one?
So, it is not Luke, I am your father. It's no, I am your father.
Yeah. See, because everybody, I Mandela affected it.
Yes, he never says, Luke, I am your father. He goes, no, I am your father.
Gotcha.
But
I'll try to remember that.
Yes, but everybody thinks. I hope I'm not getting this wrong.
It would be kind of funny.
Yeah, but no, it's So everybody gets that wrong. It's on shirts and stuff, and just in media. But it's no, I am your father, because he told me you killed him. He goes, no, I am your father. So,
spoilers.
Yeah, for a literally 45-year-old movie. So, after that, we have Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi is the last movie in the original trilogy, released in 1983. Of the originals, it is the least critically and audience rated. It was not as well received as the first two by critics and audience alike. Why is that? People thought it was more geared for children, and wanted to. It felt like it's still I should clarify. Still a great movie. Still highly critically acclaimed, and an audience rated. But compared to the first two, it's not as much. But it's still very still made a lot of money. Still a great movie. It's just compared to the first two, didn't do as well. And just the kiddie elements. But
like specifically, what kind of elements would you say?
Just the inclusion of the Ewoks as a huge bit. Just more. Empire was pretty mature. It started out with Luke Han literally cutting open an animal to crawl inside to get warm, and a big Yeti eating people an arm. He's eating an arm as Luke tries to escape. This one didn't have that stuff.
Gotcha.
More less mature elements.
Yes, I gotcha. Okay.
And then there was two small TV shows we'll go over: Droids and Ewoks. Don't need to know much about them. Don't know much about them. Just they happened after the original trilogy ended. All right.
Just like filler and backstory and random things.
Exactly. Yeah. Then there's two movies after as well. They're about the Ewoks. Not gonna get into those because it's a whole different thing. But whatever. Austin, besides those two movies, do you know how many years it would be before the next Star Wars movie happened?
So, to my knowledge, there is a original, middle, and I guess latest trilogy.
There's an original, prequel, and sequel trilogy.
Okay.
Yes.
Correct terminology. So the original trilogy is late 70s, early 80s.
Ended at 1983.
1983. I am going to guess. I'm just going to throw out a random year here. I have no idea. How about 15 years, 1998?
You are so close. 16 years.
Okay.
With Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. This is where the episodes start happening.
Okay. And
So yes. So
they kind of retroactively name these episodes?
yes. So now you have the original trilogy, which came out first before the prequel trilogy. Those are episodes 4, 5, and 6. And these movies, the sequel trilogy that I'm going to talk about, are episodes 1, 2, and 3. And the sequel trilogy, 7, 8, 9.
Mm-hmm.
So, little chronologically odd, but that's just how Star Wars is, you know. Phantom Menace, you either loved it or you hated it.
What did you think?
See, I'm going to talk about this. So, the younger crowd loves the prequels.
Like our age group?
Yes, and a little older.
Millennials?
Yeah. If you were a kid at the time of this movie, you loved it.
Right.
If you were like under the age of 13, maybe even 18, you love this movie.
Which I guess makes sense because growing up, you've heard of Star Wars and you know what it is, and it's like, oh, this is like my reintroduction or whatever. Yeah, I get you.
Keep in mind, we were not alive when this movie came out.
This is correct.
Yes. But we were alive for the other two, so. Yeah, divided the fan base. Older crowd absolutely hated it. Went as far as attacking the actors. Don't do that. These are we have to remember at the time, these are really like hardcore fans that you know, was Phantom Menace a good movie? I have a lot of nostalgia for it. I wouldn't say it's a great movie, but I'll watch it.
Yeah,
and I'll enjoy it because it has more of a special place in my heart. It's kind of that you put your kind of blinders on.
Yeah.
For it, your rose-colored glasses.
Right. I get you on that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and George Lucas actually is quoted in saying, after he got asked about why people don't like it, he goes, "Star Wars is a film for 12-year-olds." So.
Right, and that's fair because it was 15 years since. You know, the first movie was released, or the third one.
Yes, but I would say I would not agree with that statement. I'd say it's a film for everybody. It has to have elements that are kiddie, but it also can have mature elements as well. I would say Empire Strikes Back. A kid could watch that movie and be fine, but it's got a lot of mature elements in it as well.
Right.
So then, it's been a long time since Star Wars came out. Grossed $1.027 billion.
And this is episode 1.
This is episode 1, 1999, Phantom Menace.
That's a big B for big.
Yes, and this is over 20 years ago. So it's almost 30 years ago, actually.
Yeah, that's
closer to 30 years ago.
Didn't need to think about it like that. Yeah, people were excited, clearly.
Oh, yes. Then Attack of the Clones released in 2002. If you know, still 3 years between them. We're going to get to that in a little bit. 3 years between the films still. Sentiment was pretty much the same as Phantom Menace, being like, hey, this is for kids. This movie, if we just count the original, or the just mainline Star Wars movies, considered the worst movie.
Really?
Of the bunch. Critically, including the sequels, which I'll get to a little later. But, yes, people did not like this movie. It's alright. It's alright. Even my rose-colored glasses, I can be like, it's got a lot of cool elements, but it's alright.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite, but it's still good. But people are kind of like, oh, George, you're 0 for 2 on these movies, dude.
It seems like he's started way up on top and he's just gradually.
That's kind of the sentiment, is that people thought he lost touch.
Okay.
Because it's been so long since he made Star Wars movies.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, George, you lost touch. But we're going to take a break from a movie real quick to talk about the first Clone Wars movie, not the Clone Wars you may know. This is a 2D animation style Clone Wars little mini series that came out right before the next movie in line, and it was pretty. People loved it.
Yeah.
But it was short lived. It just was introduced. General Grievous, who's a character in the third film, but yeah, they're like, hey, we're gonna do this. People liked it, but they didn't continue it. So,
is the sole purpose of it just to introduce or be like, get ready for the third movie?
I think so. That's what I think. But now we have the second of the big two, Revenge of the Sith, released in 2005. And if you've noticed, still 3 years between movies. This movie is also insanely highly rated, critically and audience rated. This is the movie where you could see the Macbeth influences, the Dune influences for sure of the characterization of Anakin. People will flip flop between this movie and Empire Strikes Back on what their favorite movie is. Fun fact about me: my favorite movie is the original Star Wars movie.
That's fair.
Yes, I just like the hero's journey, but that you would typically put that as number 3 in your Star Wars movies. Anyways, so it makes the top 3, and then Empire and Revenge of the Sith are in my top 3 as well. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
the top 3 are pretty set in stone. Yeah, this concluded the Star Wars George Lucas's Star Wars movies. He never made another Star Wars movie after this.
Because he just didn't want to? Or?
Yeah, didn't want to. He had plans for another trilogy, but never got seen to light. People don't know why. Because it's like, George, you can make a shit ton of money.
Right.
But
maybe he was just kind of like, I've been getting dogged all these years, so I lost my touch, and I finally made a banger. And he's like, you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a legacy thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he does have his foot in some other projects, but as for the movies go, this was the last movie he fully directed and stuff. But it's literally a banger. So
yeah.
People love it. Now we got the Clone Wars. This is the 3D animation Clone Wars. First off, we start off with, in 2008, the Clone Wars movie. Austin, if you were to include this in the Star Wars movies, mainline Star Wars movies, this would be below Attack of the Clones.
And Attack of the Clones was
the worst rated Star Wars movie.
Gotcha.
It was not great, honestly, not very great. But
so the worst rated Star Wars movie. That's just kind of ironic. It's like, hey, here's a story about what happened before that movie that you guys really hated. Enjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, wait, we don't like that either.
So yeah, the Clone Wars does take place between Attack of the Clones, which is episode 2, and Revenge of the Sith, which is episode 3. It tells the story of the Clone Wars. So the movie was released to kick off the TV show. The first half of the TV show, people like, it's all right. Second half of the TV show, people absolutely loved it. They felt also that it was too kid-like in the first few seasons, but once they started introducing more elements and mature elements, and saying it's not really just a kid show, it's a for everybody show, people absolutely loved it. And then, also, 2020, they got renewed for a final season, and people really liked that final season as well.
That's nice.
Yes. I think there's a total of 8 seasons.
Damn.
Yes.
It's a lot.
But if you take 2008, not counting the 8th season, so you got 7. So what does that end in? I think 2014 or 15, somewhere around there. But then we have the big boy coming in. Disney.
Bum, bum, bum. I guess you could even play like the Darth Vader, like the dun 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 dun.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's so funny because I could not picture that in my head. So thank God you got it. All right. Disney buys Star Wars and Lucasfilm as a whole in 2012. And they kick it off great with Star Wars Rebels in 2014. 4 seasons. It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it wasn't bad. Last seasons were pretty good, but like overall pretty mediocre. But hey, not a bad first swing, Disney. Yeah. And then they announced that they would be making a new trilogy. So in 2015, Force Awakens releases. Of the sequel trilogy, this is considered the best movie of the sequel trilogy. But here's where we run into the problems with Star Wars, where George Lucas, like I said, he had plans for a sequel if he ever made one.
Mm-hmm.
Disney said, thanks. Saw the farthest trash can they could and threw it at it.
Kobe.
Exactly. And some say it's still flying there. So and they said, we're going to do our own. We're going to have 3 different directors direct these movies. They bought, I think it was like, it was billions of dollars they bought Lucasfilms for. And they say, we're going to wing it for these movies.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Exactly. And the weird thing is they had Marvel for years now.
Mm-hmm.
And Marvel had a whole big plan.
Right.
They're like, we're not going to do that.
Because it's Marvel.
Because it works, you know?
Yeah. Marvel's kind of their baby, I guess, and they just inherited this.
Yes,
I don't
exactly.
know.
Force Awakens, at its core, is a 1-to-1 recreation of the first Star Wars movie, just worse.
Whack.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not a bad movie by any means,
mm-hmm.
but it's just like, you've seen this before.
It's not original.
Done better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, whatever. But we do have a really cool thing. The first spin-off movie in 2016, Rogue One. This follows a completely different story. No Jedi in it. Little to no Force. It's just a story of these characters getting the plans to the Death Star. It's interesting. It was very critically and audience rated, like, highly. So it's pretty good.
Right.
Okay.
So the Death Star, does that thing ever get like completed throughout the series of the movies?
So the first one does, and then it gets blown up, and they're building the second one.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that one gets blown up too.
Gotcha. Okay.
By Lando. But, so you know that you got like one mediocre swing, one really good swing, and one where it's almost to the fences, but
yeah,
monetarily wise, it was a home run. Critically, you almost hit it there.
We're doing good, but we're not.
It's not the worst start.
Right. We haven't exceeded expectations. We've maybe met them, like maybe a little bit below.
Yeah, I would say right below.
Okay.
Right below. Like if you made a banger movie next after Rogue One, you're solid.
Right. Which I'm gonna go ahead and infer didn't happen.
Unfortunately, this is where everybody would say that Star Wars went wrong.
Womp womp.
Yes. In 2017, we have The Last Jedi, the most controversial Star Wars movies of all time.
Because?
For spoiler reasons, I'm not going to get into too much of it because it's still a newer movie. It's almost 10 years old now, but it's still a newer movie. But I'll get into them anyway. Basically, they just... I'll get into a little bit of it. They didn't do any of the characters justice is the biggest complaint. Luke Skywalker, for example, kid in the movies filled with hope and can see the goodness in everybody, tries to kill his nephew after he has a dream about him turning to the dark side. Like, what? The guy who literally, like, his father killed children, and he's like, there's still some good in him though.
Right.
And he's like, I think my nephew might like be having some dark thoughts. Death.
Just out of character from.
Exactly. There was just like, I know Carrie. There's some problems with Carrie Fisher. She died around this time as well, but just her whole character. It's like, what? Like, she's a headstrong leader, and you have this guy asking what the plan is, and you're not telling him what the plan is. Like, but he's also the leader, so it's just weird things. It's just some weird Mary Poppins shit too. It's odd. Like she's supposed to be a really smart leader, and she's like, I'm just not gonna tell like the person right under me what's happening because I need him to learn a lesson. And people are like dying. Like, what?
It seems like whoever directed or wrote the script just kind of like forgot the other movies existed.
Mm-hmm. See, Ryan Johnson directed this movie. I can appreciate that Ryan Johnson tried to go in a different direction. I just think that direction should not have been off a cliff.
Fair.
Yes.
Understandable.
Some people like it. You'll find a few of those people.
Yeah.
Everybody this is definitely the most controversial movie, and it's supposed to be a trilogy. This is a sequel trilogy. He kind of ended it with a really hard like place to take off from.
Was that maybe on purpose?
I don't know. It just he made a single off movie in a long line of movies.
I get you.
So I don't know what he was doing. Again, I can appreciate what he was trying to do. I just the direction he went for it was not the right direction.
Yeah.
And then we have Solo. So wow, we went really down. We have a prequel about Han Solo, one of the most beloved characters of Star Wars. Didn't do so well. This is the only Star Wars movie ever to lose money.
Ouch.
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen with a beloved character?
People just didn't like Star Wars after Last Jedi. Like, I'm not gonna go see this after. I don't like. This is the point in the culture entirely where you would say this is probably around the time of the start of the not to get too political, woke versus anti-woke.
Oh, gotcha.
And there was such like a stigma for anti-woke and people calling Last Jedi woke, and a lot of people didn't like it. And I would say that I don't say that's the biggest factor of it. I feel like we're tired of Star Wars, but that's definitely a huge factor in it as well.
Well, it's disingenuous to not at least mention it as
exactly
a variable.
I think the biggest thing is people just didn't like The Last Jedi, and they're like, I'm not gonna go see another movie about this, or people don't necessarily enjoy Han Solo as they would Luke or Leia or Darth Vader.
Because like as I understand it, Han Solo is a side character, I guess.
He is a main character.
He is.
I would say the main characters of the heroes are Luke, Leia, Han, and then I would consider Chewbacca also in that, but most people wouldn't.
Just trying to think. So to your best guess, do you think a solo movie about Princess Leia or about Luke Skywalker would have performed better?
A Luke Skywalker one for sure. I don't know much. I think a Leia one would have performed about the same.
Okay.
Like, again, these three characters are beloved, but I think Luke is the most.
Right.
I honestly think it probably goes Luke, Han, Leia. Do I think Leia is a better character? Yes. Do I like Leia more than Han Solo? Yes. But I think Han is more beloved than Leia. But I do think I would agree a Leia one probably would have done better.
Gotcha.
Just because there's more mystery to her and more you could do with her. Do I think it would have made more money than it cost to make? Still, I don't agree with that. A Luke one, I think would have though.
But it wouldn't have been like box office record type of thing. Just because of the appetite for.
Yes. Yeah.
So-
People were kind of like, Disney, what are you doing?
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
So Solo was the second spinoff. Didn't do as well. And then The Mandalorian came out. Sorry, I have it over here.
Which was
Mandalorian debuts with Disney Plus.
yes, I remember that being a big deal.
Many people have Disney Plus now, and the show that first released with it was The Mandalorian. When I tell you people went crazy for this show, that is an understatement. People went insane for this show. Like, they were like, "Oh, Star Wars? Okay." I don't know what's happening with the movies, but it's back.
We're so back.
Yes. It's like, we're back. Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, you guys are doing great. This debuts right before the movies come out. The last movie.
Okay, yeah.
Right before it. And it's going on as the movie comes out or releases in theaters. So you have these two things. And some would say The Mandalorian gave people a new hope.
Dun, 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 dun.
But unfortunately, The Rise of Skywalker did come out. This is all 2019. Horrible movie. Should not exist. It basically said to the last movie, you established all these things. We're gonna take another thing of your movie and throw it to the furthest trash can we can. Again. Say, nope, this actually means this. This didn't happen because of this. This, you know what? No, we're gonna change that because of this. No, actually, this character believed this way instead, actually.
This is what happens when you have 3 different directors for 3 different movies.
Funnily enough, I can't remember who was supposed to direct this movie. So the first movie, directed by J.J. Abrams. I believe that was a great choice because he did do the Star Trek movies. And they're pretty good. But I think he could have had, I think he should have been picked for all of them, to me personally believe, or one director picked to do all of them.
I would say just for continuity's sake, that seems to make more sense to me.
Ryan Johnson created the episode 8, and then the director who was supposed to direct the third movie, I can't remember if Disney kicked him out or he left. I think it was he left because they didn't let him do what he wanted. So J.J. Abrams came back with like a quarter of a script and did the whole movie. Now, Austin, if you can't tell from these movies, Force Awakens came out in 2015, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rise of Skywalker came out in 2019.
It's and so 3 movies in 15, 16, 17, 18, 5 years. 4 years.
4 years, actually. It took 9 years. Or no, sorry. Wait. It took 6 years. Sorry. I was getting it wrong. Oh my god, no, my whole point was ruined. I'm such a dumbass. Okay, forget my whole year point. Do you see how many movies are coming out in 4 years?
I think the overarching point, if I can save it real quick, that you're trying to make is that the original trilogy and the prequels, there's a lot of time in between to plan and execute these movies.
3 years between each movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas the sequels, it's like bang, 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 bang.
Yes. It's just they're coming out. They're coming out. They're just
trying to pump it out.
You don't have a lot of wiggle room. Like once you have a script, you have to go. You don't have a lot of time to change it up. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, the whole movie needs to be made first before the CGI, which is a lot of CGI, can be added. So if you need to redo something, that's a lot of weeks. So you can't redo something. So you have to, once you make a decision, you have to go. And that's where I think these movies really suffered.
It makes sense.
Not just besides the fact that it should have been planned out right from the beginning. they just kept coming out. You don't have any breathing room for it. Yeah, I remember I started high school with Force Awakens, started college with Rise of Skywalker.
Right.
So it's just a whole high school career is just built into this. So people are like, we like The Mandalorian. We hate everything else with Star Wars.
Which is such a sour way to end. I'm assuming that there's going to be no more trilogies.
Well, remember we talked about in a few episodes ago. There is some in the works, maybe. Mm-hmm. But I think they're going for more spin-off, one-off movies now, which I think is the smart strategy.
It feels smart because if they're just going to do the whole, we're going to release 3 movies within a 4 to 5 year span, like same thing's going to happen. You know.
So after this, a ton of new shows came out. We got Bad Batch 2021, Book of Boba Fett 2021, Obi-Wan Kenobi 2022, Andor 2022, Tales of the Jedi 2022, and Ahsoka 2023, and then season 3 of The Mandalorian in 2023.
This is like Disney releasing all those Marvel TV shows that no one cared about.
If you can't tell, within 2 years, all these shows got released.
Yeah.
How many of them were good? We're not going to include season 2 with The Mandalorian. We're only going to include season 3 because season 2 is pretty good. How many of them were good, Austin? Can you guess how many? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shows that got released.
If it's anything like what they did with those, is it Phase 3 where Marvel did all the TV shows and they kind of just like boom, 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 here they come, get them while you can, where they half-assed most of it?
Yep.
I'm gonna assume like only a couple of them are actually any decent.
Andor, the best one. Really, you don't need to be a Star Wars fan to watch this movie or this show. Go see this show. It is amazing. I will not say any spoilers for it because it's that good. Austin, you would like it. You would really like it.
Andor what?
And, all I'm going to say is Andor is a character from a movie, and it's his story.
Okay.
So, and season 2 came out a little ways back, or a little bit ago, and it was also very good. So, Andor, highly recommend it. You do not need to be a Star Wars fan to watch it because it is. If you said it took place in its own universe, it'd still be amazing. Bad Batch and Tales of the Jedi, all right, mediocre but good. Bad Batch is a little continuation of the Clone Wars, a little side story of the Clone Wars, and then Tales of the Jedi is this kind of like the Star Wars, was it Legends that I was telling you about, where they just animation style and stuff.
Yep. Okay.
So, but it's all one animation and a Clone Wars style animation. All right. I'm gonna go in order of best to worst. What I think, I am very biased on what my worst is, even though I don't think it's the worst here on here. This is the worst to me. So I truly do believe that season 3 of The Mandalorian wasn't as bad as everybody said it was, but it was pretty bad. Nothing happened though. It was
just kind of there.
Yeah, it was like it's just it's essentially building to everything else. I would tie Ahsoka and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ahsoka and Obi-Wan Kenobi suffer from the same things, which is the only parts are good are the first bits and the last bits. And the last bits specifically.
Yeah.
You only really need to watch the first episode and the last episode of both of these shows.
Seems like a pointless TV show.
Exactly. They both should have been movies, and they would have been way better.
Marvel made the same mistake.
Yes. Then we got Book of Boba Fett. Boba Fett, if you guys do not know, is my favorite Star Wars character and one of my favorite characters in all of just media as a whole.
I did know that.
Yes. I have a picture with him at Disneyland. I'm not a Disney adult though. I just wanted to see him. Was I freaking out? Yes.
You weren't tracking him down or anything.
Book of Boba Fett. The worst character assassination I've ever seen for a character. I liked what they were trying to do at the beginning, where he died, or he supposedly died, lost his armor, and had to learn from the Tusken Raiders how to be good. Do I think Boba Fett works as a good guy? Not at all. Not even the slightest. That is his greatest thing about his character, is that he doesn't care. He just cares about getting bounties,
right,
and incinerating people.
Makes sense for a bounty hunter.
Exactly. He grew up with Jedi killing his father, so he hates Jedi too. And he can hold he's one of the only characters that's not a Force wielder that can hold his own against a Jedi. So why in the hell is he like this in the show?
I can tell you're upset.
I'm very upset about it. There are good elements of the show. There are, but just like Obi-Wan and Ahsoka, it's just there's just this stuff in it that does not need to be in it. Or you could have made this a movie too.
Right.
But I don't think, because there's a lot of bad stuff. There was like some weird stuff with like some like cyborg like hippie guys. I don't know.
It seems like they're throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
It pretty much. But yeah, there hasn't been a big Star Wars thing in some time. But like we talked about in is Micah Parsons getting traded to the Jedi or something like that?
Was that 2 episodes or 3 episodes ago?
2 or 3, yeah. I think it was 3. There's some hope for Star Wars, you know? It's not all doom and gloom, because Star Wars, at its core, you don't need to have the Jedi in it to make a good story. You can have a space opera. You could have a Western, which like The Mandalorian was. You could have a samurai movie. You could have a slice of life movie, really. There's so much stuff you can do with Star Wars. So, I am hopeful for Star Wars, but that is a very opinionated history of the Star Wars franchise. Austin, any questions about Star Wars?
No, I enjoyed kind of just like a quick overview of everything, and like the mountains of respect it received and the valleys of disappointment it achieved. I really enjoyed that. It really seems that and it's such a huge entity that it's never going to die. Mm-hmm. It's going to be ongoing until someone says stop.
Exactly.
Whether it is in their TV show, whether it's a one-off movie, another trilogy, you know, I really think it's important to just like pick one director, whether he's a fan favorite director, whether he's new to the series, just pick a guy and plan the shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think people... I understand attention spans these days aren't what they used to be. I understand. I think people are going to appreciate a quality movie series over, 8 or 9 years, as opposed to just like shoving it down your throat.
And there is the argument of George Lucas when he made Star Wars, didn't plan for 2 sequels for a whole trilogy. Mm-hmm. Once he figured that out, that he was going to do a trilogy, the second movie wasn't just its own movie. It was planning for the third movie.
Right.
So I wouldn't say that argument's valid, because once he found out, I'm doing these things are money makers, I'm going to do a trilogy of them. The second movie literally ends with a cliffhanger for the third movie.
Right.
So the second movie of the sequels doesn't end with a cliffhanger. It ends with, hey, like, everybody's dead.
And then the third movie in the sequel is like, actually.
Yeah. It's like, there's not a lot of rebels, but there actually is a lot of rebels.
Just feels like two people arguing with each other. It's like, no, this is how the story goes.
Exactly. Just a plan would have been nice. Also, little fun fact: you know who plays the Mandalorian?
I do not.
It's Pedro Pascal.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is. I would say it's probably the start of like the Pedro Pascal hype.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense considering
He's been an actor for a while, but it is like where everybody's like, "Oh, Pedro Pascal's like a really good actor."
it all started with Star Wars.
Yes.
In essence.
I would say the big hype. Yes, I mean people liked him before.
Right? Yeah. I get you.
Well, any more questions, Austin?
No, I don't think I do. At least nothing that comes to my mind right now. Like I said, I really did enjoy learning. Like I knew there was like a lot that comes with Star Wars, and obviously we could sit here all week going into depth about each individual movie and whatnot. I didn't realize just how many like little mini one-off movies or TV shows are like interweaved throughout the history of it.
Yeah, and I think even before Disney Plus, they try to do stuff with just the Clone Wars. And
Well, I remember people really liking like the TV show for the Clone Wars when I was younger. Again, maybe that was just like a kid thing. I don't know.
Well, I mean, we were that age where
Right.
the first few seasons were like, whoa, this thing is crazy. It's for us. Whoa. And funny enough, it released on Cartoon Network, not Disney.
Interesting.
So yeah, screw you, Disney. No, we're gonna get sued or something for that.
Yeah. Goodbye this episode.
This has been a long episode.
Yeah. I'm going to blame it on our 15-minute cold intro.
Yeah. Hey, it was. I mean, it'll probably drop. 'Cause, I mean, I think I'm gonna start it a little earlier or a little later than we did because we're kind of talking. I don't know. It's late now.
It's late. We're getting loopy. This is the latest we've ever recorded, which isn't really that late, but it's late for us.
Yes. I mean, yeah. I mean, I still gotta like edit this and stuff. So holy crap. Well, should we end it?
I guess we can end it before we get to 2 hours officially.
Austin, what are we on?
We are on Instagram, Spotify, Apple. Woo!
Yes, finally on Apple. Woo!
And YouTube, of course. That is Balls and Blasters. It's a ball and a blaster. You can't miss it.
Hey, we have a TikTok that still doesn't have any clips yet. No.
We have a tick that's waiting to talk. We'll get there eventually. It's a broken clock, a broken TikTok. Yeah. Check us out. Like us. Leave a comment. Criticism, good and bad, always welcomed. I hope everybody continues to like this new format of where you get to hear me drone on about sports nonsense, and then Caleb gets to get into the weeds of all the nerdy stuff. It sounds like people like that, so we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, because I think it really helps that you can skip if you don't want to hear about the sports stuff or the nerd stuff, which you really should listen to both because that's the whole idea of the podcast.
That is the purpose.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, even if you are a really big sports guy or a really big nerdy guy, you might learn something about your topic that you already know. So.
Right. And I hope the passion for each of our topics is evident, that it makes it interesting regardless of whether you do or don't know anything about it. But that is enough rambling. I've been Austin.
I've been Caleb.
We hope you have a wonderful morning, midday, or night, depending on when you choose to listen. We'll see you next time.
See ya.